What is up YouTube, and today I'm going to be talking about Sword of Convallaria, which is on your screen right here. I've been playing this game for quite some time since its release about 2 weeks ago, and we're just going to talk about the pros and cons and if this game is actually worth playing and if it's worth your time after I've actually tested it out pretty extensively. Level 33 I started a few days late after release, but I think the highest level right now on average, I think most people are like level 36, level 35 if they've been playing since the release day. So I'm only 2 levels behind, so I have a pretty good idea about the game. So the first thing about this game is that the combat is very, very fun. It's like grid-based, like Final Fantasy Tactics strategy game type combat. So it makes the combat pretty strategic. You have to actually think about where your characters are moving and also how they want to attack, and even if you want to like wait, which is very different from other games where you just do turn-based combat like Honkai Star Rail or even Epic 7. There's a lot more strategy involved. Also, the graphics are very nostalgic, right? If you've played any old Final Fantasy games, it's very, very similar, which is very, very nice. And the music, the BGM, is all from like Final Fantasy composers, so it actually is very good. The music is amazing. You can also see the character animations, sprites, and artwork are all very clean, which makes it very aesthetically pleasing. Also, you're going to see that building characters is very easy. If we actually go to characters here, you're going to see that there is very complex ways to build your characters, right? And what I mean by it's easy is that leveling it up only costs 1 currency. You can see I have so many of these. It's called common EXP. If we go to a unit that needs EXP here, you'll see that the cost is very low. It only needs 1,000 out of my 330,000, so I can level up units 300 times right now with my currency, which is insane, and that's basically like 10 more units. So leveling up is very, very easy. Also, skilling up your characters, which is what you need to do to unlock skills. You'll see there's a separate skill tree. It's also pretty easy because the currency is also farmable, and it's not like gated behind time, it's just gated behind energy. And I haven't had any problems actually ranking up my characters, and you'll see that there are some very, very unique skills. You can only choose one from each side. But however, you can use a currency known as this Castalia here, which you can get periodically over time to unlock both sides of the skill tree. And it really comes down to how you want to build your character. Usually it's going to be whether you want to build your character more damage based or more utility based. For Gloria here, I've unlocked both sides for 2 of them because she's just a very powerful unit and I use her pretty much everywhere. So a lot of different ways you can build your characters. Building your characters is very easy, leveling them is very easy, and the gear, you can just swap them over whenever you want. There's no like unequipment fee like some other games, which is very, very nice. Also, you're going to see that there is a huge time sink in this game in Spiral of Destinies. Spiral of Destinies requires these keys, it doesn't require any energy, and you get a ton of these at the beginning of the game. You will eventually run out, which we'll talk about later, but for the most part, it's just an endless time sink up to a point, and it's like very, very long. It's very, very fun actually. It's a very different spin of the game, and it's very free to play friendly because you don't really need a lot of units. You only bring 3 units in. The other units you actually get for your teams are going to be recruited in this game mode from the shop, which is going to be pretty easy to do once you actually start playing. Also, you're going to see that a lot of the summons and resources at the beginning of account creation are just very plentiful. So you'll get a lot of summons, right? I've pulled for basically all 3 of these banners here. This new banner just came out. I didn't pull for this yet, and I still have 32 summons left over. I'm debating whether I want to start pulling on this banner. I'll think about it. But the summons and resources at the beginning of the game, they give you so many. I'll show you guys what the summoning looks like in this game. It looks pretty cool. I'll summon on this banner because I actually haven't gotten any of these units yet, and I actually kind of want to try. And you'll see that this is the animation here. And it looks like I did get a legendary, so good luck from summoning on stream. And I got Nona Will. She's not the banner unit, but she is just the regular unit, which you might be wondering, why did I not get the banner unit? Which we'll talk about when we talk about the cons. But yes, the summoning animations are pretty cool. A lot of different skill paths and build paths for units that make the combat very fun in this game. Now, talking about the cons, let's just start from the top here because we're already here anyways. Let's talk about the banners. So for the banners, you're going to see that you have a 2% overall probability on every single banner, whether it be featuring a unit or just not, to get a legendary unit. And you're going to see that the banners don't guarantee that you'll get that unit that's featured. You'll see that there's a 75% chance when I do hit this 2% overall probability that I get a legendary to get one of the banner units. If you miss it, the next time you get a legendary, one of these are guaranteed. So you can pull for this banner and not get the legendary that's featured, which is very annoying. And even when you do get the guarantee one, so next time I actually summon a legendary, I'll get either Garcia or Nungle. I actually want Nungle, and I don't really care about Garcia, so I don't even get to choose, right? It's random, so a lot of annoying things about summoning in this game. They do give you a lot of currencies in the beginning, but it appears later on. We're not too sure about how it is. It seems like they're trying to have us catch up to other servers, so that means more banners more frequently, so hopefully they give us more summons. If not, it'll be very, very unfortunate. Also, what I want to talk about is the energy in this game. So energy in this game, or otherwise known as endurance, the costs are super high. So if I just go to just like modes you want to farm, for example here, let's go to this thing known as Radiant Forging. This is very important to farm because you get this Radiant Powder, which is basically used to advance your gear, which is level up your gear. And all my gear isn't even leveled all the way yet. I've been farming this a lot with my endurance or energy. And you'll see the energy cost is super high. It's at 30, right? Other games, it's at like 10, 20 or something like that. This game, it's at 30. And even though the cap is higher, the energy doesn't regen that quickly. And also, you don't get a lot of these endurance restoration bottles. You get some of them, but not a lot. So a lot of the time, you're not going to be playing this game too frequently, at least in the regular game modes. That kind of makes you play through Spiral of Destinies the most. And this does give you decent rewards, but nothing too crazy. And if you want to use like your characters that you've built, you're out of luck, because in Spiral of Destinies, all of your characters start from the beginning, and you just have to build them separately in this Spiral of Destinies, and it resets every single time you start a different story. But very cool, because there is going to be different story paths you can unlock. If I think it's Voyage Map, and basically what you choose with your decisions leads you to different endings, which makes there be a different experience every single time. But you know, in terms of playing with the units that you pulled for, all of them, and also with the builds you have, it's going to be very different experience in Spiral of Destinies. Also, the combat AI is pretty bad in this game. Auto mode gets your characters killed a lot. Some of the stages you have to manual, especially ones with like fire, ice, or like other obstacles. And also you can't choose the facing direction at the end of your turn. And it's really weird because some units will actually benefit from attacking from behind, or also from attacking, you know, from the side. And even units that get hit from the front will counterattack, which makes it so that the lack of ability to actually choose how you end your turn is just pretty weird. Also, the low rarity characters in this game, if we scroll all the way down, so I guess like the shiny ones at the top here that are highest level, these are my legendaries. The one below them, gold, is going to be epic. And then the one below them you don't really care about too much, because all these units just have very generic names. They don't even have names, they just have like a title, I guess, like recruited, assassin, pikeman, and stuff like that. And these units just don't really have that much like character design going for them. Sure, they look like okay and stuff like that, but it's just weird because it's really hard to remember their names. And there's some games that do this. I'm not like a huge fan. I'd rather have units just have names, right? You can see the legendary ones all have names. It's kind of weird, but I guess it's not really a huge problem. But yeah, guys, overall, this game is very fun. I definitely recommend testing it out at least. If you haven't tried this genre, you might like it. It's very different from other gacha games. And even though there are some games that actually have this genre built in, I think this game, Sword of Convallaria, did a very good job in making there be a lot of content you can do, and it's just a super fun game to try. I highly recommend just trying it out. If you don't like it, you don't have to play. You can even, you know, decorate your room here, which is pretty cool. There's a lot of customization, not just for your characters, but for like your home decoration. It's pretty fun, so definitely recommend checking it out. Not sponsored by this game or anything, just wanted to let you guys know that this game has been flying under the radar a little bit. I just wanted to show you guys it's a very, very fun game to test.